Hello guys, welcome to this latest live Q&A. Here for 30 minutes, answer as many of your questions as I can. Obviously, the earlier you ask them, the better chance I've got of getting through to them. If, for some reason, I don't get through to them today or can't answer it, then you have got another place you can ask a question. And let me get these up on screen. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see these, hopefully, on screen. There are a few places you can go. You can go to the Facebook group. beclaimyourcash.com/community will take you through to that page. Join there. You can ask a question there. If I can't answer it, someone else will. Or you can look on the website itself, beclaimyourcash.com. Have a search there, see if I've already answered it there, or here on the YouTube channel as well. You might already find your answer to your question. Now, if you do want to get the best of everything I do, YouTube, podcast, blog, deals, all that kind of stuff, then make sure you also sign up for my free newsletter, which comes out every single Thursday morning. You may well find the stuff you're looking for, I write about it or make a video about it, and you just keep on top of stuff as it comes through, rather than having to check the site or the YouTube channel every single day. You see once a week, you see what's going on. Right, let's have a look. We've already got loads of questions already come through. So Andrew says, hi Andy, what are your thoughts on Crew? Would you be able to do a review of them? I see they're about to raise their current account rate to over 3%. Would they be worth opening an account with? So yeah, so I'm going to, I've actually applied for an account this week. I'm going to do a review, hopefully next week, might be the week after. It depends how much time I've got to do other bits and pieces. Already my plans have been messed up because today we've had the premium bond rate increase, and yesterday we had the Santander thing. I've just seen that Now TV are increasing the price of Boost from the end of February. So those more topical things sometimes take precedent. But yeah, I'm really, really keen to get a article and video review of Crew very, very soon. From the 1st of February, it will be 3.03% interest, which would be great. Bear in mind, on the 2nd of February, we are going to have a Bank of England meeting looking at the base rate. So they are very likely to increase it. And I would have thought that Crew, as well as Shawbrook, who also increased their rates to 2.92 today, they're already factoring this in, but others might not have done. So we might see further movement above that. But yeah, really keen to get my hands on that account and see what I think of it. Godey says, Santander giving 200 now, I see as well. Can I get the Lloyds one, even if I got the Halifax one about a month ago? So this is bank switching. I've got a whole video already about the Lloyds bank switch offer. I've just recorded a Santander one today, which is going to go out on Thursday, but I have got all the details on the blog if you don't want to wait for that. You just want to read about this £200 switching deal. Yes, you can do the Lloyds switch if you've had a Halifax switch. That is not an exclusion from those banks, even though they are the same bank effectively. They are not excluding you from switching offers from each of those. Where you do find exclusions are NatWest and RBS when they have switching deals, and First Direct and HSBC can have exclusions there as well. Robert says, Now TV have sent emails that they are increasing the standard price of Boost from £5 to £6 per month. Yeah, I saw that just a few minutes ago as well, which is frustrating. And I guess the question there is, Boost, I think, is not essential, but it's quite important if you're having Now TV, because it allows you to watch on more than one screen. It allows you to have HD, at least fuller HD. £6 on top of the other things to be quite expensive, but I've got a whole video about the trick to cancel Now TV to bring the price down, not just a Boost, but other passes. So if you aren't aware of that, check out that video, or again, check out the article on the blog talking about the same thing of how to do that. Alex says, hi Andy, I'm 33 and there are 3 years worth of national insurance qualifying years for pensions that I can purchase. I have 12 qualifying years already. Do you think I should before I can't? So I wrote about this last year and did a podcast on this. There's more detail about this on the blog. So go to beclaimyourcash.com and search for state pension. But basically what Alex is saying here is to get the state pension when we are older, assuming it's still there when we will hit that state pension age, and that age does keep getting higher, you have to have, to get the full amount, around 30, God, it's going to top of my head here now, 35 qualifying years. What qualifying year is where you've worked or received the benefits that suit it, that fit into it. And as a result of that, you have had a full year of national insurance contributions. And 35 of those mean that you'll get the full state pension. It varies depending on your age. For example, on my one, I only need 30 years, whereas my wife needs 31 or 32, I think. So it's a bit of a, depending where you are, you can go and get a forecast and a statement on the gov.gov website. Again, this article takes you through all of this, gives you an idea of how many you will personally need. Now, this thing that's happening right now, and in fact, it's only until the end of, well, to the end of this financial year. You can go back, rather than go back for 3 years, I think, again, bit rusty on exactly how many the lengths are here. If you go back 3 years to fill up some missing years of national insurance contributions, you can go back to 2006, I think. So what is that? 12 years? Go back 12 years? So even more ones you can go back to. Now, if you are near a state pension age, near a retirement age, so what is that, 67 right now, 68, depending on your age, getting towards that, then, and there are gaps, it makes sense to do this because the amount of money you have to pay to top this up can actually, after I think about living 3 years of receiving the state pension, after that you're making that money back in spades afterwards. An average age of how long we're going to live is way beyond state pension age. So you should be a good thing to do that if you're older. But Alex is 33, you've already got 12. So let's say you need to get another 21 years of national insurance contributions. That would take you to your 54. In all likelihood, you're still going to be working when you're 54. Maybe not. Maybe you'll be able to retire early. But I would imagine there's not really much point doing those contributions retrospectively right now because you'll just get them anyway, just from your normal salary that comes along. And obviously, you'll have opportunities later on if you want to top it up. If you say you retire at 50 and you need another 3 years, well, you can make contributions then because you still won't be able to get the state pension itself until your late 60s. So hopefully that helps. A bit of a longer answer there, guys. Sorry for that, but I think it was an important one to talk about. If you are over sort of 45, 50, then definitely have a look at your record right now and see if you can claim any of this back. Hello to everyone on Instagram. So the comments do whiz through here. So I have to sort of take a bit of time just to check that I haven't missed anything important. Someone's requested to be in my video. That sounds like a bit of a scam. Minesh says, hi Andy, on the Santander switch, the £1,000, can this come from another Santander account? Thank you. So this is a requirement of the Santander switch where you have to deposit £1,000 into the account in order to qualify for the bonus. Now, it will say in the terms and conditions whether this money has to come from a different account or not. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you, but it will be there on the Santander website. Now, hopefully you've got an account at a different bank. If you haven't, then you can open up very, very quickly, almost instantaneously. Someone from Monzo, there's a £5 welcome offer for that if you've got a refer a friend link, or with Santander, or with Chase. You know, you can open up any of these accounts straight away on your phone, and then we'll transfer £1,000 from one Santander account into Chase, Starling, Monzo, whatever it might be, and then transfer that £1,000 to the other Santander account. So if you can't do it, check the terms and conditions. That's your workaround. And then you've also got an extra account, which is always useful to have. One more from here. Oh, blimey. So Luba here, this is now a pension question. So I'm not an expert on pensions, but I'll see if I can answer this. I cluelessly contracted out of SERPs when I was 18 when I had a private pension. Does this screw me up for when I'm older? So contracting out, again, it's not my speciality, but this is where you wouldn't have been putting the contributions into your state pension. So potentially, Luba, there may be larger gaps on your state pension. Again, check your record, see if there are, and you may well want to top up some of those. Again, not an expert on pensions, so do look into that a little bit more detail just to find out what that means. Obviously, there are different things in your age as well can get quite complicated. So yeah, it's definitely one to do more research on to find out, but just in case, I can't promise you can, but certainly have a look now at your record on .gov.uk. Again, a whole article at becleveryourcash.com taking you through these state pension top-ups and how extra you can do it to follow all of that, and maybe you'll be able to get some extra money. So Nick says, hi Andy, I have a Virgin card, credit card that I've not used in a year. If I cancel it, will that affect my credit score, or shall I just leave it in my drawer to collect dust? Interesting. So I've actually just, when this video goes live, I also publish an Ask Andy article on the blog where I'll just share some answers to the questions you've asked on the Facebook group and put this video in so people can watch it later on if they want to. And I've just answered this. So basically, not from you, Nick, but from somebody else. When you close a credit card, it can be good, it can be bad. There's no one answer, which would be lovely if it was, but sadly there's not. So the bad is you close down a credit card and it could be a card you've had for a long time, and the average age of all your products therefore reduces, and the lenders and the credit reference agencies like to see loyalty in lots of ways. So if you're always switching, changing things around, your accounts will be quite young. It's always worth keeping some of the older ones there if you can. Also, when you close it down, you'll obviously lose access to that credit, which means your overall credit limit across all your cards, assuming you've got more than one credit card, will reduce. And that also means your credit utilization rate. This is how much of your total available credit you have used, which is pretty obvious when you think about it, but that's what it means, will also change. And in an ideal world, this is what Experian said to me. I think it obviously varies from lender to lender, but Experian said to me, you want to keep it around 30% if you can, not go too far above that. Can be less, can be more, but that's a good rate to aim for. If you've suddenly lost, I don't know, $5,000 credit limit, and then that obviously could make a big impact there. But on the other hand, if you've got credit cards open, you're applying for other forms of credit, and the lenders see you have access to this credit, they might think they've got access to too much credit already. We don't want to lend to this person because that could be dangerous if they use up all this credit and then we'll be able to pay us back. So sadly, there is no right or wrong answer, Nick. You have to just take a chance on it. It depends what your other applications you've got going on, how good your credit report is, the strength of it, and so far. If you've got a good credit report and nothing else going on and you don't need this card, then maybe get rid of it if it's not doing you any harm. James Paul says, hi Andy, I have a BA Amex Plus card as it reaps many avios per annum and a business comp right, sorry mate, I don't quite understand that question, so if you type it again at the bottom, if I get to it I will, but yeah, if you can guys, it helps me massively to get through as many questions if they make sense when you're reading, when you write them down. Kevin says, hi Andy, my wife has a flexible cash ISA which she has had from previous years and has maxed out the current financial year. Can she move this to another provider such as Yorkshire Building Society during this year? Yeah, absolutely. So although you can only pay into one ISA in a financial year, so April through to April, you can obviously move it to get a better rate. And obviously any money you've had from previous years, not just this year, but previous years, you do this via something called a transfer. Never take the money out and then pay it back in if you've got more than the £20,000 annual allowance, or you think you're going to use more than that in a year, because you lose that. So you transfer it, and the new ISA provider will do that for you. So you go to their website and it will say transfer it across. Often it's part of the application or in the online account in your app. Transfer it across. They'll talk to the other bank, move the money across for you, and it sticks there and it gets the new rate. Now, if as part of that transfer there's nothing left in the old account and that old account is completely closed down and shut down, then actually you could start paying into the new one with a better rate as well, but as long as you don't go over that 20,000 allowance for this financial year. Algeron says, hello Algeron. Sam Bob Lang says, hi Andy, just want to let you know that thanks to you I've made £1,440 from Bank Switch offers in 2022. That is fantastic. That's really, really good. I'm so pleased to see that. Celestial Alexia, hi Andy, my regular saver at First Direct matures soon. Can I open up another one immediately after? 7% is impossible to beat, in cash savings at least. Yeah, this is always a good thing to think about when you're a regular saver, because most regular savers, not all of them, but most regular savers will run for 12 months. There are exceptions. The NatWest and RBS digital regular savers keep running, but you only earn interest on up to £5,000. And Principality Building Society, I think it's listed at becleveryourcash.com/savings. It's listed all the best accounts. They've just launched a Christmas regular saver, which will mature in October or November. So that'd be slightly shorter. But broadly speaking, 12 months, it ends. When it ends and you get your money, you can then absolutely, and I would do this with First Direct, apply for the new one. And then you have to, but it is a new one. It doesn't extend your existing regular saver. It is a brand new one. So just make sure that your standing orders are going across and things like that. You don't want to accidentally miss a month or two here or there. On that, what was I going to say? Something I thought about there. Some of them, cheekily, can auto renew. I had that with Halifax a few years ago, and all of a sudden, my one matured at a decent rate. At that point, it was down to something like 1%, 1.5% or something. But I suddenly had this regular saver, which I was never used, never put money into. So not quite sure why that happened. So that's maybe a Halifax Lloyds thing that they will auto renew. So just don't want it to happen. Then, we can cancel it. But I actually got on the live chat to them and got them to close that down. So not that I am going to open up the 4.5% regular saver with them, but if I wanted to, I could. Michael says, talking about Crew again, I opened a Crew account today. Was this a good idea? Potentially. I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet. I've put the application in. I don't think I've had confirmation that it's come through yet, but when it does, I'll do a review and take a look at it. But it is Financial Services Compensation Scheme protected, so any money in there up to £85,000 is safe. So from that point of view, if you do put money in there, you are not going to lose it. Obviously, it might take a bit of time to get it back, a short amount of time, but that isn't a bad thing. And if it's a good app and you enjoy it for banking, then that's no bad thing either. Namio says, how do I spend £500 and actually pay myself? I need it for the Halifax reward account. I've got a whole video and an article taking you through this. So if you search for Halifax reward hack or just go into my channel and search through that, you'll see the ways that you can do that. Sebastian says, why are UK cashback credit cards paltry compared to our American cousins? A lot of that will come down to the charges. So in America, they'll be able to charge more for the individual transactions. So the credit card companies make more money, so therefore they can pass more money back onto their users. But yeah, you do see some of these things and you think, how can they get these absolutely fantastic bonuses? And we're getting get excited about these 70,000 Avios point offer that's on right now, but still nothing compared to what a lot of them are getting out there. Check over here. Oliver says, can you do a stocks and shares ISA video? So sadly, Oliver, I don't talk about investing, not because it's a bad thing. It's just it's not something that I'm an expert on. And I don't think you should be talking about stuff if you don't know everything about them. Now, I'm sure if I didn't do any of this other stuff, I could devote myself to that and I could spend lots of time going through those and I could do that. But if I do that, that means I'm not doing the other things. So when you do look for people telling you about stocks and shares ISAs, just make sure they know what they're talking about and they actually have used these things, understand things. I guess obviously the things you're going to be looking for in stocks and shares ISA largely are going to be the fees. That's one of the most important things to consider there. And that, depending on how much money you've got to put in them or if you're transferring any across, that can have a big impact as well. Emmanuel says, I got the Santander £175 this January. But do you think I can still get the £200 switch offer if I do it next month or a bit later on the year? So sadly not. The Santander switch deal is only open to new and existing customers who haven't had any switching cash from Santander. So sadly, you are ruled out of that one, as am I. But there we go. Danielle says, hi Andy, love your stuff. You have helped me a lot. That's lovely to hear. Not strictly a money related question, but what app do you use to store passwords? Really good question, because in a podcast the other day, I said the wrong name of an app. I used to use LastPass, but now I use something called, I think it's called Bitwarden, which is free. Obviously, I like to get, make sure, but it's good as well. So that's a great way for you. It's very important. It's, potentially this is money related as well. It's important to keep your accounts secure, whether it is a bank or Amazon or whatever it might be, anywhere where they've got your card details, or anywhere they could maybe use to sort of, copy details and then get in elsewhere. Have different passwords for every single account, which can be a pain. So these password managers, which store everything and you have a single password to get into them, can be a fantastic way to help boost that security. You never tell anyone the password for that kind of master app, and that should hopefully keep things safe. Paul says, I have now received the incentive from Lloyds. Can I downgrade back to Club Lloyds? So you've got the money, which is great. It sounds like Lloyds are paying this money out quite fast, much sooner than some of the terms say. They said it could be relatively quickly anyway. If you've downgraded and you've got the money, then then you can downgrade, I would say, down to your normal Club Lloyds. I think that should be absolutely fine. If you want to leave it a little bit of time to that kind of, if you've got your money sooner than that minimum time they talk about, maybe to hedge your bets. But when I did this a few years ago with Halifax, the same hack, again, a whole video taking you through this if this is news to you. I did it as soon as I got the money, I downgraded. And in fact, I didn't get charged anything at all because the fee was sort of prorated and sorted out in the next month, and actually nothing at all. So you've got a few days until the end of the month, maybe give it a little bit, but yeah, you should be fine to do that. Tina says, hi Andy, just a quick thank you. Following your advice, I managed to switch from the Barclay Platinum Visa to the Barclay Rewards credit card. Much better for my forthcoming trip. That's fantastic. I think that was on the live 2 weeks ago. We talked about that. Or maybe in my best credit cards video. I can't remember, but that's great, Tina. Really good to hear that. Steve says, thoughts on the current Lisa situation, lifetime ISA. A lot of negative comments online, especially on MSE. Also, is the 20k BA Amex deal worth it, or should I wait for another offer for a new credit card? So let's talk about the lifetime ISA thing first of all. This is actually a campaign that Money Saving Expert launched at the weekend. And I think I completely agree with what they're saying here, because I've been saying it myself for a while. When the lifetime ISA was launched, the maximum amount you could spend on a new house was £450,000, which was better than the Help to Buy ISA for anywhere outside London. So from that point of view, you're saving up and you can spend it on a house that's more expensive. But house prices have continued to grow up, but that limit hasn't changed. So what the money saving expert is saying, what I've said before, is that limit should be increased, or you give people the ability to take their money out of a lifetime ISA without a penalty. You'd obviously lose the bonus, but you've got the money back. I think that absolutely would be fair. So yeah, hopefully there could be some kind of change on that. The Money Saving Expert got obviously a massive voice campaigning, so maybe something can be done there. In terms of the 20,000 British Airways Amex deal, this is another offer that's running via the British Airways Executive Club. The 70,000 point one is great. And I think if you're eligible for that one, that's what you should be going for. If you're not eligible for that, you could look, if you aren't able to make the £3,000 spend in 3 months, or you think it's too complicated to change the card once the fee, to pro rata refund on the fee, the alternative one is these 20,000 points from the free British Airways American Express card. So there's no charge for that at all. You get those points, which is great. However, you cannot get that welcome bonus if you've had any American Express in the last 2 years. If you haven't had any American Express in the last 2 years and you're eligible for that offer, well, then you also might be eligible for the Premium Plus deal, or maybe one of the other deals out there. So it's the best I've ever seen for that free card, but I would still be looking at one of the alternatives. And actually, I've just done a whole video and article taking you through the best American Express cards and that route I would take if you're brand new to them or haven't had one for 2 years, which one to go for first, and then second and third to maximize those welcome bonuses, and then the best ones for ongoing spending as well. Ivan says, hi Andy, I think big thank you. I made 1,643 quid from bank switcher. That's amazing. So we're getting higher and higher on this. Well, that's really good to hear, Ivan. Christopher says, Lloyd said the £10 silver account fee is charged between the 1st and the 3rd of the month. I opened an account today on the 24th. Do you think I'll be charged for February before I have time to downgrade to the standard Club Lloyds? Potentially. But I think if that does happen, you've still got 190 quid, so it's not the end of the world. I think it's also potentially prorated. So if you did cancel it on the first few days, you might get charged a fraction of it. I don't know for certain. Maybe it's retrospective. So you'll get charged on the 1st or 3rd of the month for the end of January. And then the following month, if they were to charge you, they might charge you for a few days there. Matthew says, hi Andy, I have a Bank of Scotland account. What other current account can I open that is a separate institution that will protect another £85,000 savings? So Bank of Scotland is Bank of Scotland's with Lloyds and Halifax. However, just because they're the same bank doesn't mean that the £85,000 is split between them. It really varies from bank to bank. You'll be able to find that information online very quickly. I don't know off the top of my head, but essentially any other bank will be fine. What I would also say, unless it's some sort of temporary thing, it's a lot of money to have in cash savings. You will be paying probably a fair amount of tax on the interest, unless you can get some of it into premium bonds or some of it into an ISA. But also you'll be losing out massively compared to inflation. So not for everyone, but the general rule of thumb here is to only have enough available to you for something specific you're going to be spending money on, or for your emergency savings. Anything goes wrong. Above that, pay it into pension, overpay your mortgage, invest it, because over time that will be worth more to you, most likely, at least anyway. Sandy said, can you recommend a good account for my granddaughter age 3 to save for her future? Do you know what? I need to do a new updated video and a new article on savings for kids of different types. I have got over at becleveryourcash.com/savings the best rates right now for a handful of the different accounts. So have a look at those. Obviously, one of the considerations you have to think about with savings for kids and with your children or grandchildren is, can you open them? Because there can be restrictions there. Sometimes only the parent can open them. About access, is this money for her to say her future? Is that talked about when she's 18? Or is it maybe when she's just a little bit older? Maybe she'll use it for a kind of banking, learning about money and things like that. I mean, you could even look at a pension. There's no reason why that can't be open. But again, I think a parent possibly has to open that one. But again, there are lots of options out there. Jai says, what are the best cashback debit cards available? Anything better than Chase? Chase is the only one. Well, I say it's the only one. The Santander Edge will give you 1% on supermarket groceries and petrol station spending. But you can get, the American Express Nectar credit card will give you 1% on those. There's not going to be many supermarkets and petrol stations that don't take Amex, okay, because of all the big chains, aren't they? So is not great for that. I wouldn't really bother with that. And there are caps with it. Otherwise, there aren't really any other debit cards offering cashback right now. There are a few other messy ones where you link cards, like I gave Zilch a go the other week, and it was a disaster. I absolutely despised it and hate it. I will at some point do a review expanding on that. But yeah, I mean, I know some of you use it and you manage to stack deals together with it, but I think it's very complicated. And if I've got confused by it, if I've made mistakes with it, then other people are going to do that as well. And that is not a good product. That is going to catch out a lot of people. So yeah, I wouldn't go near that. I would say, look, we've got a month now until this cashback's going to end with Chase. I will do an update then on alternatives. Hopefully Chase will turn around and give us something new. You never know. You never know. They might do something. They might change it. They might expand it. We'll wait and see. Caramel says, hi Andy, when joining the Club Lloyd savings, can I put in 250 in and take it out straight away? Or do I need a constant deposit of 250 quid every single month? So this is, I think you're talking about a regular saver here. There was a Club Lloyd's regular saver which pays 5.25%. And I think up to £400 is the max you can put in every single month. There will be a minimum as well. Top of my head, I can't tell you, but I have got it listed at becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. That will say if there's a minimum. Not all of them have minimums. Some of these regular savers do, some of them don't. If there's a minimum, yes, you have to put that minimum in, and then you can add more in later in the month if you want to, or just keep it at that lower level. And obviously you're saying 250 for this account. I think the cap is 400, so you could put more in on top of that if you want to. But you won't have to put in the max every single time. It'll be a lot lower than 250 if there's one at all. So Killer says, can you explain in detail the YouGov deal where you get points for sharing bank account info? So I will do, I'm going to do this in my, every month on the channel, I do a current account news update video. I'm going to put it in there as one of the stories in there, which will be the next week or so. There is more information over at becleveryourcash.com as well. If you go into the deals section, there's a little tab for banking and deals, and then you'll find a finance app deals, and the information is in there as well if you want to find out more about that. Mini Mad says, evening Andy, hello Mini Mad. Let's have a quick go on Insta again. C Bishop Design says, hi Andy, can you pay into a cash ISA as well as a stocks and shares ISA in the same tax year? Lot of ISA questions, so I think I will be doing a video on ISA soon as well. But yeah, absolutely, you can pay. There are 4 types of ISA. There's the cash ISA, the stocks and shares ISA, the innovative finance ISA, and the lifetime ISA. There's also the help to buy ISA and junior ISA. They're separate. Let's think about those main 4 ISAs, that ones you can still get right now. Innovative finance ISA, ignore that. You're left with those 3 other ISAs: stocks and shares, cash ISA, and a lifetime ISA. Obviously, a lifetime ISA can be stocks and shares or cash. The total you can put into the combination of those in a financial year is £20,000, but you can mix it up however you want. Although the lifetime ISA itself has a £4,000 limit within that 20,000. So yeah, absolutely, you can mix them around as you wish. Alex says, hi Andy, I bank with Halifax where we have a mortgage, a current account and a savings account. If we switch our current account, would this cause an issue with my mortgage and savings account? Depends. It depends on the terms associated with those products. So if your mortgage said you have to have a current account with us, then that's going to cause issues. If the savings account is a special one just for people who have a current account, that will cause issues. So you'll have to sort of double check that depending on what those accounts are. One way around this, if you wanted to, is very easily in the Halifax app. You can open up a new account, and that new account that you've got can keep those other products alive, hopefully, or you can switch that one rather than the other one away to get a switching bonus. So we've only got a couple of minutes left, guys. Let's see people who I haven't spoken to just yet. Christopher says, okay, I'm not going to be able to answer this, but it's a good question. From a ballpark idea, how many newly open current accounts have you heard someone can open in 1 month in terms of impact on your credit report? There was, I don't know, but the thing you've got to bear in mind when you do open up a new current account is you are going to be, for most of them, hard searched on that application. And then if you are switching and closing down the old account, similar to what I was talking to with credit cards earlier on, then you're going to lose that longevity on that other account. So you have to be careful with this if there's any other sort of longer applications you're going to make in the near future, at least the next 6 months, like a balance transfer credit card or a mortgage, ones that would be really important to get the best possible rate that you can. But I mean, I've probably done 3 or 4 in a month, once or twice. and a credit card as well for a special offer. You can do it, but you've got to be aware of the consequences, okay? So if you don't have anything big coming along, it shouldn't be an issue at all. Right, guys, I think that might be it. Let me just quickly just check over on Insta. Natalie Louise says, are there any credit cards with good rewards? Sainsbury's isn't giving me much back. Don't need Avios or travel points. Again, I've got a whole video start of this year looking at the best credit cards, a whole article looking at the best credit cards. What I would say is you can get cash back with a lot of the Amex cards, but don't rule out ones that earn you Amex points or Avios points, because you can convert them into Nectar points, which can, as long as you shop at Sainsbury's, Argos or eBay, we can all shop at Sainsbury's in person or online, then you're going to be, they are worth something as well. And they're going to pay you a lot more than the supermarket's own ones, the Tesco ones, the Sainsbury's ones. The Asda one gives you 1% in Asda itself, but it's rubbish elsewhere. Right, guys, thank you so much for that. Again, appreciate that we can't get through every single question. So do head over, if you haven't already joined it, becleverwithyourcash.com/community will take you through to the Facebook group. Apply to join. I do try to screen it to try and make sure we don't get any scammers in there. If you do spot anyone doing anything dodgy, just report it. I know you guys already do, but you can ask a question there. Lovely, friendly group, 3,200 people in there, and everyone's kind of in the same boat. There are money geeks like me, or there are people trying to sort of learn a little bit more and find out a little bit more and come together. There's some really, really interesting stuff that comes out of that, and it's a really, really hugely helpful community. Have a lovely rest of the week, everyone. And the next one of these will be in a couple of weeks. I'll let you know the exact date in one of my newsletters. So again, don't forget to sign up for that as well. Cheers, guys.